We're live. We're going live. What's that guy's name? Bill O'Reilly.
Yes.
That's great. Coach is the next Bill O'Reilly.
That's right. We're going live.
Where's your awful intro music?
Oh, I have my earbuds. I don't feel like messing with them. So
okay, good. I don't got to listen to it. That works for me.
So there, you don't have to listen to it. We're in. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Huddle. It's me, Coach Muddle, joined by the Magi. What is that? What does it say? Stizzalicious.
Stizzalicious.
In the house today, going for number 30 in the prop bets today, and Nevada Nick, who joins us. And I mean, let me ask you: did you put the wrong name in because you were trying to multitask? You got the rounds right, but you didn't get the winner last night. So I think let's start with McGregor.
Yeah, look, Coach. I think a lot of people said McGregor's fought I think this was his third fight in 40 months, and that's not a lot of action. His last fight was only 40 seconds. A lot of people felt if McGregor was going to win, it was going to need to be early. I thought he was going to. I thought he was going to catch him. Poirier took his power early, and I don't think because last time Poirier, now this was 6 years ago. But basically, Conor got him with one left, and that was it. So I think, Poirier took his hit, felt like he could withstand the power, and he got more confidence. He had a very nice takedown that I think surprised Conor in the first because it's a different strategy for Poirier. And look, man, when you think, oh, they're just on the ground, that wears you out. You're like fighting for your life on the ground there. So that tired him up a little bit. And then look, Poirier got those calf strikes on, and, Conor said afterwards, he didn't make an excuse, but he said, look, I had dead leg. He goes, fair play to him. That's Conor's expression, right. Saying, look, he won, he beat me. But, in fighting, when you lose your leg, and look, that's part of the game in MMA. That's part of the strategy. But he lost his leg, and Daniel Cormier said it. He goes, oh, he's got some big shots on that calf. He could see it. And then literally within 20 seconds, he was knocked out. Like he couldn't go on it. And then Poirier, jumped on it, caught him, and that was it. And look, man, one punch in MMA, and that's game, set, and match. And that's just kind of how it is. It's one of those things. And look, there's going to be people that say McGregor's done. I think you got to give him one more against Nate Diaz. Or, look, they're 1-1 now. So do the trilogy in either Diaz or Poirier. Give him another shot, because it is UFC. But if he loses next time, it's going to be kind of hard to start. It's losing 3 or 4, to say, hey, give this guy another shot, So we'll see what happens. But, yeah, I mean, and Dana White brought this up, Coach, and I think it's a great analogy. And, look, I'm a Rocky fan anyway. So, but he said it's like Rocky 3. If you watched Rocky 3, the Mr. T one, he said,
no, I never saw it.
Okay, well, but he said Conor's coming into Fight Island on a $310 million yacht. You know what I mean? He's got all the money in the world, everything he wants. He goes, it's hard to be a savage when you've got everything you want, all the money. And it's true, man. Yeah. You know it, Coach Stizz. In the fight game, hunger is a big thing. Right. And it's hard to not lose your edge. That's why the Khabibs and the Floyd Mayweather Juniors of the world are so special because, a lot of times you get full of yourself, you get like Stizz after winning 11 straight, you know what I mean? You just think and I'm not trying to, but you just think you can't lose, you know what I mean?
100%. 100%. Listen, on top of the world for probably the last few weeks to a month, and took a little spill, took a little step back, fellas, but don't worry about it. We're getting right back on the train today.
Oh, hey, man, we all know it. But no, literally, it's because I've done it in gambling too, man. I'll do all this wins, and I'll call somebody up and say, man, you want some winners? Just give me a call. You get arrogant, and then boom, humbleness comes usually by the gambling gods. So that's just how it works, Coach.
Yeah, absolutely. Is that stat right? Did I put that up right?
That's correct, Coach.
Yeah,
that's correct.
There we go.
I don't like that 7. I don't like that 7 because it used to be 6, but
Well, Stizz, if it was 37, I'd understand, but it's 29-7. I mean, you can't complain with that, man. It's still over 80%. So,
right.
Listen, I strive for perfection, buddy. I strive to be number one.
Oh, I hear you. But trust me, man, that you can put that with anybody in any type of gambling this year. People don't pick in the 80s. Look, to win in gambling, because of obviously the 10% juice, you got to win 56% just to win.
Just to break even. To break even,
so
basically.
You're a 50% winner. You're not getting killed or anything, but you're not a winner. So, I said, you got to be a 56% winner. So, if you really want to be winning money, you got to pick in the, over 60%. And obviously, you're doing that. So, I mean, look, there's a lot of people out there that are on the big stations and doing that, and they're just complete losers, like 30 games under 500 and all, and somehow they're still on, the big network. So.
That's right. And here I am on the Coach Muddle show, killing it.
Right. That's right, killing it.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Now, Coach, can we talk about one more thing before we get into football and all the things going on? Is that okay?
Sure.
I want to get into me and Stizz's Sixers, man, because another big win last night. I know it's Detroit, but still, a win is a win. And, man, the Sixers first placed in the East by 2 games, and I think they really got screwed out of 2 games too, because all these other teams are getting postponements, and the Sixers had 7 guys the one time and played 2 games
against Denver. Yeah,
right. They could be either 12-5. They could be 13-4 or 14-3. I really like how the Sixers look. I love how Embiid's playing, and I love how Doc's coaching. He's putting Embiid under the basket instead of at the 3-point line like Brett Brown did. And I really like I think the Sixers right now, and if they keep on this trajectory, they might be the best team in the East.
Well, listen, I mean,
Coach, don't count out the Knicks, man. Don't count out the Knicks.
Knicks are having a nice season too, but we're talking about the Sixers. No, you're right.
They are.
Yeah.
Come on, I got to throw the Knicks in there. I got to throw them in.
Yeah.
Listen, Coach Nevada. I mean, we were talking about the head coach hiring, with Doc Rivers. We were talking about the pieces they brought in, and it's all seeming to gel together. And listen, man, you got Embiid in conversations of MVP this year. Now, let's slow the roll a little bit. I mean, he is looking great. Hey, listen, there's a lot of guys in the NBA right now that could look like an MVP for their team. There's no doubt about it. So, but he's in the conversation that I like. He had 38 points yesterday. I think he had 2 back-to-back 40-point performances against Boston. He's looking good, man. And without him, I think your team kind of takes a real big step back, because you're not getting it done with Superman, with Dwight Howard. You know what I mean? Behind center. So let's hope that Embiid stays healthy. Let's hope he keeps on playing like he does, and let Doc Rivers take this team to the playoffs and see what we can do. And
Stizz, 6 straight for Embiid with 30 and 10 as well, which, hey, you can't, when you got a guy giving you 30 and 10 a night, can't beat that. He's really stepping up and they needed him to become the guy. You know what I mean? That's what Embiid is. They need him to be the guy, and then let Ben and other guys work around him. So, I like where they're at. I do.
Hey, listen, even Ben had 20 points last night. You see that stat?
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it.
No, I know, because he's really, me and Stizz talked about early in the year, he's been 15 or 16 over-under every game. He's been under a lot. Now, he's had some triple-doubles, and look, he fills the stat sheet up in other ways with rebounds, assists, and he plays great defense. So I don't got a problem with Ben Simmons. I know there's a lot of Ben haters, but, look, he's right for what this team needs right now. And look, they don't need much from him, because you got all these other things, working out.
I just look at it as you had the race car and it just couldn't get around the track good enough, and you get Doc Rivers in, gives it a good tune-up and some fresh tires on the thing, and now you guys are moving around the track pretty well. So I think all the cylinders are working now.
Yeah, nice smooth sailing for sure, Coach.
Yep. So, all right, let's a lot happens, because just so everybody knows, our show's cut back because Nevada Nick, he does 16 shows all week, out on all these other shows, so we can't squeeze him in, and he doesn't like to dance with who he brung to the dance with. The old saying, you got to dance with who brung you. He don't like to do that, so, and it's fine. It's okay. But, just what it is. And But let's get in. A lot has gone on since
Coach,
our
you
last
become
show.
the ugly girl at the dance. What can I say? You know,
Sitting on the bleachers waiting for somebody to answer. Yeah.
braces and pimples. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, so
Yeah, sorry.
you still got to dance with who you brung. So
Yeah, okay.
but here we are.
Yeah.
So a lot has happened. I mean, which has kind of surprised me that we have one coaching spot left open, and we're all these spots are filled, and the two biggest names coming into the coaching carousel are still offensive coordinators and obviously coaching today.
Yeah,
but there's still one spot. I don't kind of surprising, puzzled. I would like to say I love the Jets hire. I mean, I think the Jets. I think. Listen, the Giants influenced the Jets hire. The Giants did that. If you saw what Joe Judge is, and you look at Robert Saleh, and they're kind of the same. Those fiery guys, emotional, and the Jets needed somebody similar to that. And you also needed somebody the complete opposite of Adam Gase, who looks like a meth head on the sideline. I mean, come on. So I think the Giants really influenced that hire.
yeah.
Just throwing it out there. But
yeah, no. Look, and I would think that, look, I think with the Texans too, I mean, wouldn't you want to know if Deshaun Watson's going to be your quarterback if you're going to take that job? Because if you don't, they don't have much cap room. You don't have a first or second round pick this year. That's not a very enticing job. So I think that's part of it. Look, if I'm Eric Bieniemy, you didn't want me, but now because you're trying to make amends with Deshaun Watson, you want me. I mean, I might take the job if I know Deshaun's staying, but I'll tell you, if not, I wouldn't take it. And I think Dabble too. I think he's coming back to the Bills. I think he might have said that too. I think he wanted the Chargers job. It didn't work out. They took Brandon Staley from the Rams, the good defensive coordinator. So I think he's going to end up in the Bills. And look, I get it. Like I said last week, if you got a really good job as a coordinator, banning me with the Chiefs, Dabble, you're starting to really hit your stride with the Bills this year. Sometimes it's better just to stay and then go be Dan Campbell and take the Lions job. And you're really, he might have tried to do the great press conference, but I think he kind of, didn't look too good for the kneecap, right. I mean, but look at him, Coach. I know he was the interim head coach with the Dolphins before. They had to give him a 6-year deal because nobody wants to coach in Detroit. Right. You know what I mean? So you gave a guy who got his first head coaching job, and it's not like it's some guy from college that you're dragging from college that like an Urban Meyer or something that doesn't want to do it. You had to give him 6 years. What's going on, Uncle Bill?
Uncle Bill, my man, how you doing, brother?
What's up, Bunk?
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. Obviously the Eagles just got the Colts offensive coordinator, and I don't love it. I think it might be a little bit of a guy who can, play the puppet strings from, with Howie and Jeffrey Lurie. But you know what? I was wrong about Doug. I hated Doug. I liked Chip. So I think with coaches, it's kind of wait and see. Let's see what the guy can do, and you go from there because you never know what coaches. You just don't.
Hey, listen, the Eagles are going into the dipping into the Indianapolis Colts. Well, they just hired DB's coach Jonathan Gannon.
Yeah.
As their defensive coordinator. How about that? And another tidbit I just heard this morning was speaking of the Houston Texans, you were talking about their head coaching job. Eagles quarterback Josh McCown is looking into the head coaching position of the Houston Texans.
Yeah.
How wild is that? Did you hear that, Coach?
Yeah. Coach, isn't that kind of surprising? Look, I know he's a QB, but to me, I'm not hiring somebody who has never coached a day in his life.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not putting somebody like that right to a head coach. I was
wait a second, because you coached your son's high school football team, and you played in the NFL at the same time. It's totally different than being,
Right.
Go be an offensive coordinator for a couple of years first, and then come talk to me. But yeah, I don't. I just think that's just BS. I honestly, I think that's just the I don't know who floated that out there, but
yeah,
I gotta. But as far as the Eagles go, I think this is the owner saying, F you to the fan base. So yeah, all you Eagle fans, F you, because I don't give a shit about winning right now. I give a shit about because I paid a shitty quarterback a lot of money, and I'm going to try and fix him. And that's exactly what this coaching hire is. Because come on, you had the what did I say earlier, Nick and Stizz? Oh my God, the biggest names are going to fall into the Eagles' lap. And they did. And you still went with somebody who is, let's be honest. I didn't hear his name floated for any other job in the league, any other job but the Eagles' job. Guarantee you that, we coddled Wentz. What do you think? What do you think, Carson? Do you think that he can help you? You think he can fix you because he's Frank Wright's friend? That's exactly what happened in this thing. Because I'm calling. Look, I'm sorry. The next 10 years, Eagles fans, you're in the shitter. I'm calling it now. Mark it down on the calendar. 24th of January. Eagles are in the shitter because you got an owner who decided he woke up on the wrong side of the bed and thought he was Jerry Jones. Okay?
Strong call.
Yeah, no, look, owners meddling has never been a good thing. Daniel Snyder, Jerry Jones. So I agree with you in that sense. I think, too, look, I think you got to trade one of them and get some kind of asset from them because it's not going to work with both of them, Coach.
But let's compare apples to apples, though. If you're an owner and Deshaun Watson's your quarterback or Carson Wentz, who do you think should have more say in what goes on at that level? Deshaun Watson's kind of proven himself. In my opinion,
I agree with that.
You put him on any other team, it doesn't matter which.
He's been more consistent, no doubt.
He makes your team a Super Bowl caliber team. You put Carson Wentz on the other, 31 teams, they're still shit.
And Coach, with like Pro Football Focus and all the numbers, so basically, the top four guys, or four of the top five guys, are all playing today.
Mm-hmm.
Brady, Rodgers, Mahomes, Allen. Right. The other guy is on the Texans. So that just shows you how good Watson is with that team around him, which isn't much. Right. And the one guy he did have, they traded away for almost nothing in D-Hop. So, no, I agree with you in that. But like I said, I don't know if keeping Wentz is a good idea. I agree with you. But I think if you're going to, you need to trade Hurts. And I know you want to have a good backup and all, but I just think it's going to cause more problems. And you know what? Hurts' value probably not going to get higher than it is right now. He looked good. I think you could probably go to somebody and say, look, he was a second-round pick. Say, look, we want 2 2s. Maybe can you get a 1? I don't know. Maybe you can get a 2 and a player. I know, but I'm just saying I'm not bringing both of them back. I think one's definitely got to go.
Oh, I agree 100%. And it's not going to be Wentz because of the money. Yeah. It's not going to be Wentz because of the money. And you're going to go and try and find a team that is willing to, is give you a second. And that's the problem. You didn't draft Hurts in the 3rd, 4th, 5th round like a Dak Prescott. You didn't do that. So you got him kind of high. It's gonna be hard to get that in compensation, I think.
Right. What's up, Kevin? You want to put what Kevin said up, Coach?
No, I don't.
Tell him, Coach.
And then what he just said too, and it's can you imagine if Brady pulls off the upset? And you know what though too, it would be so crazy that the 1 year a team gets to play at home. Look what year it is. You know what I mean? So I don't know what's going on with the Super Bowl. There was talk of like pods or something, but obviously you're not talking about 67,000 fans in full capacity, regardless of what happens. So that would be crazy and ironic if what's going on, Ted, if Tampa Bay were to pull off the upset and win and play at home in Tampa Bay, and then obviously it's not going to be. I mean, there's not going to be many Tampa Bay fans. That's going to be a lot of corporate people, family of players. You're going to need to have a buddy to be able to get into that, like Coach does, to be able to get into that Super Bowl.
That's right. And just to a little side note today during that NFC Championship game, you got two Delaware kids playing against each other. You have Darnell Savage, the safety for the Packers. Delaware kid, went to Maryland. And also you have Godwin, who's a Delaware kid, went to Penn State. Right. So, just a little connection close to home for those folks. Today, just want to throw that out there.
So, Coach, now, obviously we were just talking about Wentz and Watson. Well, yesterday it comes out, and, basically that he requested and that they're going to try to accommodate and that Dan Campbell knew when he took the job. They obviously made him aware of the situation. Yeah. But it looks like Matthew Stafford he said he wants a fresh start. And I understand that because obviously it's a rebuild again in Detroit. So now –
rebuilding since 1949.
I agree. No, I agree.
The Motor City.
Yeah. But, now another quarterback who's going to be throwing his hat in the ring next year. And, man, it's going to be like musical chairs with QBs this year. It's going to be very interesting with some of the names out there. Does Darnold leave the Jets? Are they going to use that 2-pick on a quarterback or keep Darnold? Obviously, is Winston probably going to stay with the Saints? Does he move on with all, if he had a chance maybe to go to the Colts or something? What happens with Jimmy G? What happens with Deshaun Watson, Matthew Stafford? It's going to be really interesting. And to me, there's no better job than getting to go play for the Colts right now, or obviously if you can get in San Francisco too. I think if you can get in one of those teams, man, as a quarterback, you're in a great situation to succeed because the Niners are going to bounce back next year once they get healthy with all the talent that they have, and I think they do need to get a weapon on the outside, at receiver. But man, that's a good team, obviously. So. A lot of QBs out there. Really curious to see where everybody lands.
My biggest is this hurts Stafford because Stafford still got 2 years on his contract, so you'd have to trade to get him. I think someone like Matt Ryan is going to get cut. He's going to be free to sign with whoever, and a team doesn't have to lose compensation. And do that. So it really will be interesting to see if someone gives up what kind of compensation that Detroit can get for Stafford.
Right. And we still need to see what happens with Big Ben. If he retires, and honestly, I think he should, that's two pretty damn good situations to go into.
The Steelers signed a number 1 pick. I mean, he's
not going to be a starter. Are you kidding me?
Dwayne Haskins.
That's right.
Straight from the strip club to the Steel City, fellas.
That's right, man. That's right. I think they have better strip clubs in Pittsburgh. Is that why he signed there?
I would doubt it, Coach.
I think so.
Yeah. Ted, that's a good question. I would probably go right now. I mean, probably Packers 1, Chiefs 2, Bills 3, Bucks 4. That's how I would go. Coach, what do you think, Stizz?
Oh man,
I think. Wow, I think I'm with you on them 4 in that exact order. Actually, it's tough, man, when you see the GOAT in last place. But
I know that's what I'm struggling with. But I mean, now as it would be hard to change that a little bit. I mean,
And Coach, right Antonio Brown being out today is going to be big. I know you say he hasn't done much, but you still need to account for him, Coach. And you know how that is when you got a player of his caliber. You still have to account for him. Now you're taking that out, and now it's Scotty Miller. And I'm just saying, Scotty Miller doesn't scare me as much as Antonio Brown does, obviously. So, now you can kind of say, all right, who are we more fearful of? Is it Mike Evans going deep? Is it Chris Godwin? And then maybe focus on them, try to take them out, and let the other guy.
Well, honestly, I think with that is my really, again, like you said, and then you didn't even throw Gronk into that mix. Where do you move that coverage? Because one of those guys is going to be open, and I wouldn't be surprised if Brady does take some shots with that kid, just because of what you said, is that the Packers will go and cover those big name guys with more moving guys to their areas and leave him a little more one-on-one. And I wouldn't be surprised if they took some shots with him.
Yeah. I mean, that'll be the right move for them to do. That's for sure.
And then Hurricane Stizz, you want to give that weather report you were talking about with the phone you gave us?
Snowing in Green Bay, fellas. Snowing in Green Bay. Supposed to be cleared up by 12 noon. They're going to have, as Coach said earlier, they're going to have the fans that are allowed into the game. They're going to have them shovel in the stadium. And should be cleared out by game time, 3:05. And,
honestly, you saw it against Tennessee. I think the snow favors the Packers. They seem to know how to play in the snow. I mean, Tennessee just couldn't get their feet well in the first half, played better in the second, but obviously Green Bay just jumped out on them. And it seems like, Rodgers still threw for, I think, 3 or 4 touchdowns that game. Obviously nothing deep, but still they just, obviously, like I said, when you're playing in the snow and you're the receiver, you have the advantage of knowing where you're going. And it's hard when, you're planting your feet in the snow. And Kevin asked, "Where's the bow tie, Stizz?" So,
I like it. Yeah, three of them touchdowns by Rodgers was my boy Devontae Adams that snow game Sunday night, if you remember.
Right,
Nevada. That's what took me to the championship in fantasy.
Yeah.
So they definitely know how to play in the snow. That's for sure. And boy, did they stop Derrick Henry that night! Wow. Love it.
Yeah. And you thought, that night you thought it was going to be a lot of Derrick Henry, and obviously it wasn't. And
but when you get down I'm going to be interested to hear what you guys have to say about this game, because I just feel like you have the some trends that I've been looking at that this wasn't anybody giving me any information. This was some stuff that I did on my own. Just
good research.
Put that out there. Good. The Packers seem to jump out quick and then kind of let off the gas, and I feel like the the Bucs are that team that they got to get a little push. That's that car, you got to push it down the road, you pop the clutch and get it going. And late in the game, they seem really good. So how do you guys look at that? Are you going to bet you're going to do one of those, bet the Packers in the first half and bet the Bucs in the second half, or?
Stizz will tell you, I've been betting Packers to score on the first drive.
I took them already.
Yeah, it's been, they're very good. LaFleur's great at the first 15. I mean, he's really been great at play calling all games, obviously. But he has such a nice mix of.
And his brother, by the way, is going to be the offensive coordinator for the Jets. Matt LaFleur's brother.
Okay. Yeah. So look, Green Bay has, gotten off the great starts, and like I said, they almost nobody scored more points on their first drive. So, and you see that a lot with good teams, is getting good starts, getting ahead, and getting to play how you like to play. I mean, that's, I think, key. There's only one team that. That's the Chiefs that, can get down like they then and just, the Chiefs are like, they win like 70, 80% of the games, they get down 10 points. It's ridiculous. I mean,
it's like a video game with the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah. You know what I mean, I don't think you're ever going to see again a team that's down in all of their playoff games by 10 points or more and still wins the Super Bowl. I mean, in the one game, you're talking about 24 points they were down against the Titans.
Yep.
And you guys remember, I mean, like a quarter later and still in the first half, they're taking the lead. And you're just like, what, are you kidding me? Like, I've never seen a momentum swing just like that. Like, I mean, it was unbelievable. I mean, it really was. And it's just with the Chiefs, it's like one play. And that's why they're never out of the game. And that's why Patrick Mahomes is so great. But, Coach, like I said to you, and it was reported today by Ian Rappaport, you know, I said all week, I'm not concerned about the concussion. I was concerned about the turf toe, and they confirmed today it is turf toe and that he is not 100%. So let's see how that factors in, how he plays. You know, it's going to be interesting. But I guess you want to start and get into that first Packers game and kind of give our outtake on that and give our picks on that, Coach. Does that work?
Yeah, I think that'll that we'll go with that.
Okay, so you know, I think we know where Coach is going. I'm like I think I said I already, you know, Ted said rank the teams. You know, look, I got the Packers, as the best team left right now. I like them today at home. Stizz mentioned the snow. The line's 3.5. Buy that hook. I like the Packers -3. I think they're going to come out today. Coach mentioned I think they're going to start good early. I really do. I think they're going to jump out. And I just think they have the better team, especially on the offensive line. And that's going to be big. I think they got the better offensive line. I think that's really going to be key today. I think they have a little bit better success running the football, obviously, too, and just the balance that LaFleur has. Look, Bucs defense is scary. Very quick. They're fast. And let's not forget, too, the Bucs shellacked the Packers earlier in the year, 38-10. So they've proven they can beat the Packers. There's no doubt about it. But I think, look, Rodgers is on a run right now. Obvious MVP, just playing great football. You might be able to say he's playing the best football of his career, and this is a guy who's already won a Super Bowl, really dialed in. I love how that offense is playing. I love how LaFleur is calling the game. I just like the Packers today, and I'm going to go Packers 31-24.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay. Tampa Bay's been averaging 30 points a game recently. I mean, their offense has just been clicking. I called it Kansas City Tampa Bay Super Bowl. I don't know. The more and more I look at this Packers team, Nick, I'm on board with you.
Yeah, I agree.
You mentioned week 6, that shellacking, 38-10 Tampa Bay. In that game, Rodgers, 160 passing yards, 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. And that running game was abysmal. We're going to look for, I think, a total polar opposite. We're going to look for a total 360, I think, today. I think, like Coach said, Green Bay likes to get up early. They're going to push. The factor is, Coach, you can't let Tampa Bay get that clutch started, because you give it to Tom Brady and you give him a little momentum. He can score some points, and he's got the arsenal to do it. I like the Packers as well today, especially at -3, even 3.5. I'll take them either way. I like a high-scoring game, even with the snow. Hopefully, it stops and it's out of there by 3:05 by game time. But I like the Packers. I like the Packers 34-24.
Okay.
All right. Well, I'm as you know, I have the Bucs in the Super Bowl, so I'm not deviating.
That's good.
From that. I am sticking with the GOAT until proven otherwise. He's the GOAT and not Aaron Rodgers. And I just think that Tampa Bay has more weapons than Green Bay right now. So I just think that it's going to be, it's like you said, I think it's going to be a, 34-31, 30, maybe 35-31, somewhere in there. And I think that Tom Brady pulls it out.
Okay.
Because that's what he does. This is old hat for him. I don't care if it's snowing or not, because this is nothing for Tom Brady. And I think he knows how to, his experience and stuff will keeps the ship calm. he's keeping the ship calm, and this is old hat for him. So this game's not going to be too big for the rest of the team. It's going to be, you have Gronk there as well, and but I like Tampa Bay today.
And don't forget, Cameron Brate has been playing really well in these last couple games, Coach. So now not only do you have Gronk, now you have a second tight end who's really catching the ball well. So you're right. I mean, they do have a lot of weapons. They're gonna dink and dunk with everybody in that game. That's for sure.
And Coach, you are right. And the thing with them too, I mentioned the Antonio Brown point earlier. So you had 3 receivers and even Scotty Miller as a 4th. But they got 2 running backs, and you never know which one it's going to be. It seems like one game, it's Ronald Jones, and Fournette really had a nice game in the divisional round. So obviously I would think they're going to lean there. But still, you got 2 running backs, you got 2 tight ends. Brate, I think, a little bit more athleticism, obviously, than Gronk. Mm-hmm. Gronk's still a big presence. Brady loves him down in the red zone. Just that big target, those big hands. Obviously, a lot of times, Gronk's going to get those 50-50 balls. So it will be interesting to see. Going to be a good game. But like I said, I just think Rodgers is going to be very tough to stop. I really do.
Yeah, me as well.
All right.
Want to get in the next one then?
All right, let's go to game 2.
Okay,
now go ahead.
Yeah, Kansas City, Buffalo, and look, on this one, I feel a lot better about Green Bay. I really do, because you heard, like I said,
we already talked about Green Bay.
No, I said I feel a lot better about the Green Bay game because I'm giving my pick, obviously.
Oh, okay.
I like, and the only thing that does worry me, everybody I talk to, a lot of people seem to like the Packers. I mean, there's some Bucks people out there, and obviously the Packers line opened at 4, it is 3, so people are betting the Bucks, so, but still that concerns me a little bit. But no, this Bills game, I've been going back and forth kind of. Look, I respect that Chiefs team. I really do. You're talking about the defending Super Bowl champions.
How can you?
Yeah, they're 24-1 in their last 25 games, and that one loss was to the Raiders. In a game that, obviously it was a 1-score game still too. So I just have a feeling today the Bills are going to get it done. So I'm going to go with the Bills plus 3.5. If it's 3, buy the hook as well. But I got the Bills plus 3.5. And I think
you don't follow direction for anything, do you?
Follow direction.
Yeah, because we didn't even talk about the game yet.
You're the best producer in the world.
That's right. We didn't even talk about the game. We're still talking about the game. Okay,
I'm giving my pick, and now I'm going to talk about it. Well, you're going to know. But by how I start talking, you're going to know I'm going with the Bills anyway.
Practice.
Here's my point. I just think Mahomes, with the turf toe injury, the producer of the year up here, so I think with Mahomes' toe injury and the turf toe, I think it's going to affect him a little bit. But here's the bigger thing. Bills, 26th ranked in the red zone offensively. They're so good on offense, but they've really struggled in the red zone, especially lately. Bills, number 1 red zone defense in football. So I think you're going to see the Bills hold the Chiefs to some field goals today. In the last game they played, 26-17. Chiefs win by 9 points. Edwards-Helaire had 160 rushing yards. Mahomes only threw for 220. They held Kelsey down. They held Hill down. And they had no Cody Milano, their star linebacker, and no Tre'Davious White, their Pro Bowl cornerback. So that's 2 big factors. Like I said, I like the Bills plus 3.5. I just think, the stars are aligning for them. I just have a feeling they're going to find a way to win. I'm going to go Bills 34-31. And watch these guys like Diggs, Beasley, Gabriel Davis. Davis is big too. He had a big game in the opening round. Hopefully he plays. But watch the middle of the field, Coach, because as you know, with Spags, that's where the weakness is with that cover 2 type defense that Spags likes to run. So watch Beasley, watch Diggs, Diggs hasn't had too many big plays down the field. It's been a lot of the, but Josh Allen's been great at it this year. He really has with those, in the middle. I'm going to go Bills plus 3.5. Like I said, I got Bills 34-31.
I like it. I'm on board. I think Ted's onto something here. I think that turf toe is really going to be a big factor in this game. He's not going to be able to move around as much. And this concussion, if it was a concussion, who knows? You know what I mean? We knew Mahomes was going to play one way or the other. Right. Like Nick said, week 6, 26-17, Kansas City win. Well, that game, you talked about Kansas City stats. Josh Allen, only 122 yards in the air. He did have 2 touchdowns and a pick, but he really didn't do much.
Right.
Your 1-2 punch, Diggs, 46 yards. Beasley, 45 yards. It's not going to get it done against Kansas City. You got to, like I said, they're like a video game here. I mean, you got to score blow for blow with this team because they'll throw it all over the field. I mean, they got too many weapons, for you to take a step back and have mediocre games against these guys. Yeah. I like the Bills as well. Their defense has been playing good. I wish they had a running game besides Josh Allen. I mean, Josh Allen's been their leading rusher the whole year. If they had a running game, I think they'd be really lethal. Still leaning towards the Bills. I think it's just their year to maybe take a step forward, get themselves in the Super Bowl. I'm going Bills 28, Kansas City 24.
Nice. And two, Stizz, when Allen only had those 122 yards passing, he had a bad shoulder as well. And the other thing that, like I had mentioned to you guys, I was going back and forth on this game, it's the whole Chiefs thing. They haven't covered in like 8 or 9 games. So that's one thing that does worry me because it almost seems like they're due. But then there's that fact, though, too. They've been winning all these games by the skin of their teeth, so you wonder when that's going to turn. And even last week, I mean, only a 5-point lead. Mahomes goes out. It wasn't looking good. I thought I was cooked with my big tease bet, obviously. So we'll see how that plays out. But here's what's going to be big, too, Coach, and you know it, Stizz. Turnovers. And I think the Bills are going to need to get a turnover or maybe 2 to win this game because you want to turn that ball over. And Mahomes was struggling with that in December. So you're going to, especially with that turf toe, get some pressure on him, let him put one up and get a pick, hopefully.
I like it.
Yeah, I agree because you want to get pressure because of the turf toe. You want him to have to move, and you step on that, and you get that pain shoots up your leg, and you're trying to throw the ball. It's going to be a struggle. And again, I like the Bills. They're my other Super Bowl team, so I'm sticking with it. We're going with the Bills.
Okay.
But I agree, Nick. Got to have some turnovers, and I think you might see some in the red zone today because of that defense.
Okay, in the red zone, I like it.
You're going to see a red zone turnover by the Chiefs with that. So there you go for me.
I wouldn't mind seeing that.
Sammy?
Sammy, what's up, buddy? Yeah, we got a couple guys. CEH expected to play today. Where he's been out the last few. Yeah. Sammy Watkins is a game time decision now.
Yeah, have you haven't heard anything on him, Stizz?
That was it. I don't think he's going to play. They said he's a game time decision. They did rule out Le'Veon Bell though. So
wow,
I didn't know that one.
Yeah, they ruled out Le'Veon Bell. Obviously, we talked about it earlier. They ruled out Antonio Brown. So we'll see what happens. CEH with 161 yards at first meeting, like you said, Nick.
Yeah,
I don't think they're going to get that. I don't think he's going to get that against the Bills this time around. Well, that's for sure.
And two, Stizz, one rookie in his first playoff game. Watch fumbling. You know what I mean? They're gonna try to get in his head, maybe try to punch one of those balls out. But he hasn't played 2 in a while, so I think that could be a big factor. And Stizz, you brought up the Bills rushing game. I got a feeling we're gonna see more of Devin Singletary than you think today. I really do. If you notice, the Bills didn't run the ball one time in the first half last week. Then they came with the Ravens with a little running game in the second half. I think you're going to see more. In fact, Singletary's only like 40.5. I'll give that out as my prop. I think Singletary's going to go over 40.5. I think the Bills are going to definitely try to throw off the Chiefs a little bit with a little bit of that rushing game. So, obviously, I think you'll see Josh Allen run too. But I think you're going to get. I think the Chiefs are going to be a little surprised by the Bills running the ball a little bit today.
As well they should because Kansas City's rush defense isn't very good.
Correct.
So you should play to that that negative of the Chiefs. You should capitalize on that for sure.
And you want to have balance and you don't want to put it all on Josh Allen in an AFC Championship game. Plus, as we all know, when you run the ball and have success, it's just going to make it easier for the quarterback, better for the quarterback, and it opens up the play action. And when you got guys, Coach, like with like Josh Allen and Aaron Rodgers, when that running game's going, it's almost impossible to stop the passing game as well. When they're both clicking, and like I said, the running game's going, it's just so hard because, you got to come up and respect the run, and then you think they're running, and boom, the linebackers pinch up a little bit, and you get a receiver or a tight end or whomever past that, that over that line, and you could just throw the ball. Team, it's all defensive.
Ted, I agree with you. I think the Bills, for sure, out of the 4 teams, have the best chance to win with their defense. No, Tampa Bay with as good of a rush defense they had all year. I think they were, 1 or 2. I think them in New Orleans were the top 2 rush defenses.
Right.
I don't think they're stopping Aaron Jones. I don't think they're stopping his Green Bay defense at all. And vice versa with Tom Brady. With Green Bay's defense. But, yeah, the Bills, they really have a good shot. And I think, Ted, they're going to need that defense to step up because that's the only way you're going to beat this team of Kansas City is if your defense steps up.
Yeah, and look, coming off a game last week where that defense beat the Ravens themselves. The Bills' defense, you don't put the offense on the field. Bills' defense beat the Ravens 7-3 last week. So coming off, an impressive performance. Everybody talked about that Bills rush defense. They really held that Ravens rushing game in check. So, we'll see what happens. But no, Stizz 100%. If they go get gashed and you let the Chiefs do what the Chiefs do, Chiefs are going to win. And that's the one thing I'll say, too. When the Chiefs are on their game and playing their game, they're the best team in football. Right. Yeah, they're the best team in football. But that's been the question. You haven't seen a lot of the Chiefs playing their best game. But just with the pieces they have and everything, and obviously Andy at coaching, when the Chiefs are playing their game, they're the best in football. But, I agree with the Bills' defense on that.
Well, we said they're the Chiefs are either due for a blowout win or a loss outright. And neither one of them's come yet. You know what I mean? Like this is 8-9 weeks in a row or whatever. You said they won by 6 or less.
Right.
They haven't blown anybody out, but they haven't lost any of them either. So what gives today? Right. We're all going with the upset. So I like that.
All right.
So, Coach, you want me to give my?
I want you to give it out here. Let's. That's what everyone's waiting for.
Stizz, don't you follow his directions, Stizz?
I do.
Our fearless leader.
Listen, I read the handbook, Nick. I read the handbook.
Yeah, at least he reads the handbook. He reads the pre-show notes.
He's dyslexic. That's how I couldn't read the handbook.
Before, it was the handbook was so long. I ran up to Walden Books and got the Cliff Notes for it. And I made sure before I started this podcast, I paged through that yellow book. So okay.
Yeah, Walden Books still around? There's still bookstores around. I didn't know that was there. There's a thing.
Yeah. So, okay, so 29-7 is Coach put up. I'm going for number 30. I was looking for it last week. I was on a hot run. Took a little step back. Mike Evans, boy, did he crash out. When you talk about that wasn't even close. What was he, 66.5 yards receiving or something like that, I think was the prop bet. He had 1 catch for 3 yards and a touchdown. How do you map that out? I just don't get it. 30-20 win. They scored 30 points, and you tell me that Mike Evans has 1 catch for 3 yards? You'd say I was crazy. You say I started drinking and smoking that cigar early. You know what I mean?
Godwin and Gronk didn't do much either. That's why it was so crazy. If you looked at the box score, you'd have had a Saints win. It's just obviously the 4 turnovers.
Well, yeah, it was all defense. And, without that defense, without them turnovers, New Orleans would have beat them handily for sure.
Right.
So, okay, I'm jumping back in the saddle. Sometimes even champs, even legends, they take a step back, okay? And I took a step back last week. I'm going to swallow my pride. I'm going to hop back on the saddle. I'm going to give you my prop today. I'm going to go to the frozen tundra, Lambeau Field, and I'm going to give you Aaron Jones, over 62.5 rushing yards. I think he has a good game. Week 6, I think he had like 40-some yards on the ground. Well, it's not going to be the same way. I think it's going to be a total polar opposite today with all of Green Bay's weapons. I think they're going to need a good run game. With snow on the field, I think they're going to have to run the ball and run the ball well. I'm going Aaron Jones over 62.5. I'm going to try to get that big 3-0, and we'll talk about it hopefully more next week.
Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully, we'll be talking tomorrow that you'll be 30-7 because that would be kind of nice before the Super Bowl to have that 30th win underneath your belt.
It's got a nice jingle to it, Coach. Got a nice jingle to it.
30-7, yeah, 30-7. So there you go. There you have it. Go run out. Go put your ducats and your shekels on it. And get it done. So we'll see, and we'll go from there. Good stuff.
Here he comes. There he is, right at the last minute, coming in to throw his.
His 2 cents in.
Once the Bing come over to the bad guys, yeah, he wants the ring. I think he's saying, "Hey, that's what I got to do, Drew. Right now, all I got to do is pull his name out of the hat, and I'll be able to get that trophy." So that's how you do it right now.
Coach, just to give you some background, Drew Bash, I seen him log in a little earlier. I seen him eye spying on the podcast and just licking his chops, waiting to put a comment up there. He's the host of our happy hour on Friday nights, the host of our cornhole tournaments, and I had a winter hat said franchise on it. And he was busting my stones the whole night because he was beating me at cornhole. And he took the best of me, man. These guys, Coach, they took my pride. They took my money. We did a little gambling, downstairs. Once the cornhole tournament was done, took a little bit of everything from me. But you know what? I just rise to the top. It's no big deal. I can lose a couple and get right back on the saddle. No problem.
Yeah, I did take Drew's money though, so I will say that in left, right, center. So he might have won on the corn bowl. And let's not forget the controversy, Stizz, of Linegate. You know what I mean? With some possible stuff over the line, fault gate, if you want to call it.
We have video evidence. We have video evidence of this. It might go up on Facebook and YouTube soon. So
And he's going to be changing his name to Drew Canseco. So, but he beat us fair and square. But now we played it. Like I said, it was a good game. What's going on, Chris? Chris Lentz.
Chris, what's up, brother?
Chris, you're only half right, by the way.
Yeah. Lentz, Chris, I'm with you, buddy. I think Packers Bills as well.
All right. We'll see. All right, everyone. Thanks for checking us out this morning. We'll be back tomorrow night, 6 to 7. Hopefully, Nevada Nick will get his act together, and we'll be on time tomorrow. We'll recap the 2 games and do a little Super Bowl preview. And go from there. Everybody go enjoy the games. Go make some money and stay safe. We'll see everybody tomorrow night. We appreciate it. And take care. Go ahead.
Franchise.
Go Bills.
That's the end note.
Nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills, baby.
That's right, baby. Let's go.
All right, everyone. Peace out. Thanks.
See you guys.
Peace out.